Welcome back to Fraser Focus. The federal government has just announced under $250,000 of funding for 2 restoration projects to help recreational fishing. One is in Chilliwack and one is located here in Mission.
Could have been worse, the weather prediction was.
We get the sockeye, jump salmon, chinook, coho, and pink salmon. Tiny little black dot. That's a pike minnow. That's a juvenile pike minnow. If you have a little dot on the tail. Oh. Not only do fish live in here year-round, little fish like these coho, but you'll get chinook salmon and sockeye salmon and pink salmon juveniles coming down the river. Stream. They come into the bottom ends, feed for a day, an hour, a week, and then carry on, ultimately going to the Pacific Ocean.
We've been working as a nonprofit society for 30 years. If we had pictures from 30 years back, they would be incredibly valuable. We're now starting to do that, and we hope that we'll continue to do photographs of whole overviews.
Essentially, this wetland, which is a freshwater estuary right along the Fraser River, which is a super rare, super important system, wasn't functioning the way it could or should have. So this is year 1 of the story where we used heavy machinery like excavators, removed salmon barriers because the salmon actually couldn't get up to use this habitat, and then started restoring this wetland and creating additional off-channel habitats to support additional salmon.
And that's how we often sample. It's very easy on the fish. They get a little bit of food overnight. We set it overnight, and we would try to set it near somewhere during the day. At this time of year, they're often hiding, and they'll come out at night to feed.
I think a lot of these small off-channel habitats in this valley are incredibly important for juvenile coho and other salmon. And sometimes they get overlooked or neglected because they're small, they're hidden, and people don't always understand that these small little waterways and wetlands are so critically important for these species.
So how big is this area that we're seeing that we're protecting here?
This is 40 acres.
40 acres. That's incredible.
This is almost a model for what could happen in some of the other parts.
This is a conservation site. It's actually, the ownership is Ducks Unlimited Canada, who's a partner, and then Kwantlen First Nation.
We've been quite involved in working with the Fraser Valley Coalition Society and the work that's taken place. Some of it has taken place on Kwantlen Reserve land, and we're very supportive of these kinds of initiatives. We actually wish there were more opportunities.
The State Valley Wetlands is a rare and unique wetland in the Lower Mainland. This project and partnership allowed us to protect and restore these areas for the benefit of waterfowl, salmon, and all the other wetland-dependent species that call this area home.
So what's the next step, Natasha, here with the funds you announced?
We want to do more monitoring. For us, it's a keystone species. It tells us a little bit about how is our waterway doing. It tells us, maybe we need to give it a leg up. Maybe there's something happening in our environment that we need to take care of and address.
What's the end goal here? What are we hoping to do?
Well, I mean, the fish spawning, the protection area for spawning,
right, and
rearing after that, the fish growing up, and we want to make sure it's protected and goes back into the river. Recreational fishing, commercial fishing, I mean, you know, the both segment of the puzzle here. So we're looking after both.
Well, we've just wrapped up here in Mission, British Columbia. You're watching Fraser Focus. More local stories when we come back.